Welcome to Canada's Social Changemakers. My name is Justin Douglas, and today we're here with David Bertet, President and founder of EN VERO, to discuss his Canadian organization that is dedicated to freeing people who've been wrongly imprisoned and working towards strengthening criminal justice systems globally. Thanks for being here, David.
Thank you, Justin.
To get started, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your organization and what it does?
EN VERO is a non-profit organization based in Canada. We work on cases of wrongfully convicted people around the world, innocent people, and we do our best to get them out of jail. And yes, basically for us it is a really wonderful adventure for people like us who wants to make a difference in this world.
And it's a whole team of people, mainly volunteers, but lots of people who are involved. How did you specifically decide that this was something that you were passionate about?
I would say that human rights is an issue, something that everybody should care about. I'm just a normal human being, and when I see someone suffer, or when I see a family broken, or when I see someone in prison for no reason, there's some kind of a call, like you cannot remain silent, you can remain inactive, so you try to do something, and it turns out that if you have knowledge, if you have the tools, and if you have the will, you can do something. So I'm just being moral and being normal.
Mm-hmm. So someone presents a case to you. How do you decide if their case has merit?
It's a whole process. I mean, there's no one single individual who decides that this case is interesting for us. There are some parameters. Obviously, we work on cases of innocent people wrongfully convicted, so we have to see, we have to analyze in a case if if the case does correspond to what we do and our mission and also our philosophy. It does not mean that we believe that, we do believe that everyone being guilty or innocent deserves a fair trial, but we really focus on people who are innocent. So after, the first step of preliminary evaluation of a case, we decide that, if it is a case that we think we can do something about, and this is once again it's a work that is done by volunteers doing very amazing and professional work, and we kind of make a decision together.
So once you've decided that the person has reasonable cause to assume that they're innocent or have been wrongly convicted, what happens next? Do you work with the families, you work with the communities, just with the person? Just sort of explain that process a little bit.
There's no key process. Each case is very specific, and so there's no recipe, let's put it that way. What I can say is that it's a teamwork at every level. So we consider the victim and the family of the victim as partners. So we're going to establish a strategy of defense, and we're going to work with everyone who can be involved in a positive way, including the government, because we don't go against the government without any reason. So we basically partner with everyone who may have a positive impact on this case.
Okay, and so what countries are you working in? Because you do some work in Canada, but you have mentioned a little bit Mexico. Where are some of the other places that you're working right now?
Mostly we work outside Canada. It doesn't mean that Canada is a perfect country and there are no injustices and crimes or corruption or anything like that. But it turns out that most of the cases that we work on are cases of Mexicans in Mexico, Colombians in Colombia. There's one case in Iran. We have 2 or 3 cases of Canadians wrongfully convicted in another country. But it's not a majority. The thing is that we do not consider citizenship as a relevant feature for a case to be taken by us. There are other organizations already defending the rights of Canadian nationals outside Canada. So what really determines for us if a case deserves to be studied by us is the people probably innocent, and is there something that we at our level can actually do?
So you work in Canada and you work abroad in other countries, and in Canada we have a certain understanding of the rule of law, and other countries might have different understandings. So what's your experience been working at home versus working in countries abroad with different rules?
It's always the same attitude, I would say. Government can be a government from it can be the Canadian government, the Colombian government, the Mexican government. It always amounts to the way you're going to address the issues. And I think that as a non-profit organization, we at EN VERO we really value the dialogue with officials. I mean, of course, there are things that need to be improved in every country, in Canada and abroad. So, and actually, the systems of law are not so different. Democratic societies always want to improve their system of protection of the citizens. They always want to they seek to better conformity with the system of international law, and that's basically what we try to do. We try to promote the international standards at every level and in every country, because deeply that's what every system of law is for.
So in effect you're working with individuals, but you're also trying to change the whole structure in essential too. I mean,
well, if it needs to be changed, yes. But mostly our work starts with individuals and families, because we don't make a difference between someone who's actually in jail and the family. I mean, the individual who's a victim and who's wrongfully convicted. I mean, this suffering is the same for the family. So we work. We work with individuals. We start our work at the individual level, but one case when it is resolved may have a positive impact on other cases. So incidentally, yes, what we're trying to do is I would put it like poetically to make the world a better place. But concretely, yes, if things need to be changed, this is
it's part of your mandate.
It's part of our mission, yes.
So you actually came into existence in 2013?
Yep.
And since that time, how many individuals have you freed from incarceration?
This is actually not funny, because behind the funny there are years of suffering. But this morning we just realized that another victim that we defend had been freed. So this is actually good news.
This morning, someone was freed.
Yeah, well, I mean, like a couple of days ago, but
You
learned
found
the
out?
news. Yes, we found out this morning. So
Congratulations.
and it's the this year. Well, I mean, combining 2016 and 17, it's been 10 individuals freed.
For an organization that's been around since 2013,
Yes.
that's quite remarkable. That's 10 people's lives who you've had a
And the
significant-
families.
and the
And
families and
also
the
the
communities
families, yes.
around that. That's pretty amazing. So what are some of the challenges that you face as a not-for-profit in Canada?
There are like two levels EN VERO faces. Being an international organization is not as easy as it seems. I would say that working at an international level may have some counter effect. For instance, what we do at EN VERO is we intervene directly in the legal process, and sometimes people use, to me it's a fake argument, but it's more like a patriotistic argument. For instance, like the case of Mexican person should be dealt with by Mexican people only. And we have to fight this, fight through education, obviously. We have to fight this prejudice, like the case of Mexican, an innocent person in Mexico. Yes, it has to be resolved in the first place using the justice system of the country, but it's not, this Mexican citizen, for instance, is a citizen of the world. So it's not strange and it's not out of place that an international organization will try to work with, the authorities or the lawyers or the person, the victim himself or herself, in order for justice to be carried out. So that's one of the main challenges that we face at EN VERO as an international organization. And for the other part, we face the same difficulties as every organization. We do our job in a very humble way. The volunteers at EN VERO do a really amazing job and professional. But sometimes we need to hire private investigators, for instance, and this requires
access to funds.
Exactly. So, but we do as every other organization, every other nonprofit does. We do fundraising, we do crowdfunding, and we propose our projects to foundations. So that's the not easy part.
You don't take any funding from the families directly, right?
Oh no. This is absolutely it is within our charter. We it's not like we give a service in exchange for money. And a couple of times, like the families of the victims wanted to give us some money and stuff, and we kindly refused because it's not part of our mandate to take money from the victims. We want them to have access to justice, not to
pay out of pocket more.
Exactly.
So have there been challenges with long-term funding internationally?
Yes. Yes, because we're still new, and back to when we were created as an organization, before being called EN VERO, we were called the Canadian Association for Rights and Truth, and it's been until recently that the name changed to EN VERO.
In truth,
the reason why we changed the name is that we have been using 3 official languages within the organization: Spanish, English, and French. And now with the use of Portuguese and the use of Persian, it becomes quite difficult to have many names in many languages. So we chose EN VERO because it basically sums up which we do. We are looking for the truth, and the truth in a way saves us and saves people.
So for anyone who wants to get a little bit more information about your organization, learn some more, how can they do that?
We have a website, obviously, www.n-vero.org, and what I can recommend is that people become aware of cases, other cases that we work on, cases of wrongfully convicted people we do believe who are completely innocent of the crimes they're being accused of. They can get informed, and this is the first step. Knowledge is the key, especially in our world. Let's say that where things are not going so well. If you want to make a change, you have to know your things. So that's the first step. And if someone wants to thinks this is an important cause, as we do, there's always the possibility to make a donation through the Global Giving website. Global Giving, and our our ongoing fundraising campaign is called Imprisonment. And if someone wants to give some time and energy and belong to the team, then this person can contact us at contact@n-vero.org, and we will be happy to.
Good. So there's
to
lots
get
of
in
ways
touch.
for people to get involved, to learn more about you. Well, thank you, David. I'm really impressed with the work that your organization is doing. I wish you guys continued success. The fact that you've been able to free so many people from wrongful imprisonment is helped so many people's lives, and it's something that you should be really proud of. And it's just been really a pleasure to talk to you today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin.